Welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour. Of course, the number one crypto show on Rumble, powered by our friends over at Solum Global with the Crypto Bros. Myself, Lance Migliaccio, and my ride or die co-host, George Ballantyne. Of course, this is your ultimate deep dive into everything crypto, blockchain, and decentralized finance. Whether you're a seasoned investor or a newbie just stepping into the world of digital assets for the very first time, we're going to bring you top insights, expert interviews, exciting new projects, breaking news, and game-changing innovations shaping the future of digital finance. Because, of course, on this show, in crypto, we trust. George B. What's up, George?
What's
What's up?
I don't know. Wednesday morning. It's early.
Crack-a-lackin', 7 a.m.
I think we got a head start because God was gracious enough to wake us up this morning. So thank you, God.
Yep, absolutely. We always got to thank the big man. Of course, we thank a lot of people on this show. First of all, I want to thank all the amazing followers, a lot of the new subscribers. We appreciate that, you guys. So make sure, the way to thank us for this show and the way to thank us for lifting up your crypto IQ, hit that follow button. If you can do the paid subscription, fantastic. If you can't, we understand. Rumble Rant tips, always appreciate it. Of course, we've got our Rumble wallet up there, our crypto wallet. You can always find that. And if you want to send us, 5, 10, 15, 20 Bitcoin or maybe a couple hundred Ethereum, feel free to do that. We don't want to hold you back. You can be as generous as you'd like to be, and I promise we will never give you a hard time. And, of course, don't forget to follow Solum Global on X, the Crypto Power Hour on X, G. Ballantyne, Lance Migliaccio, and the Big Mig Show. Listen, we love crypto, but, of course, we also love our gold and silver. I'm a gold and silver bug, as is George. We work with a great company, Genesis Gold Group. They can do your IRA. They can do regular investment in bullion. And, of course, they got something great. A 62.2 gram prepper bar. Available in gold and silver. It comes with an assay report. And, of course, 62.2 grams. And you can just break off a small piece to make a payment. Perfect solution. US dollar tanks, credit cards aren't working. You need to pay for something in an emergency situation. You absolutely need to have some gold and silver on hand. And that's not financial advice. That's just good common sense. Having a solution in case everything goes belly up. You want to have a way to protect you and your family, and gold and silver has always been the go-to for that. Historically, it's definitely been in every different civilization. And here we are. They've got them in stock. The prepper bar comes with an assay report, so there is no counterfeit gold coming out of Genesis Gold Group. And these guys have decades in the business. They have a stellar reputation. That's why the Crypto Power Hour and our regular show, the Big Mig Show, teamed up with them. You can head over to thebigmigbar.com. You can use that QR code if you want to take a picture. Don't go there now because you don't want to lose any part of this crypto show or miss any part because, hey, this is how you get your crypto game up. Or you can call them at 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154. And here's the good news. Crypto Power Hour has a promo code for you. Big Mig Gold, 5% on your gold prepper bars. Big Mig Silver, 10% off on your silver prepper bars. There is absolutely no reason you shouldn't have some of these in hand because, listen, you don't want to carry around a 1-ounce gold coin and have to carry a pair of tin snips to chop off pieces. At these prices, you're going to have to make some payments potentially if something goes wrong that are below the value of gold or silver. And that's why you want prepper bars. Thebigmigbar.com, 888-526-7154, 888-526-7154.
Break me off a piece of that prepper bar.
Boom. Shaka-laka
boom.
Well, we've got some edumacation for you. Yeah, that's right. We say edumacation on this show. Yes, we know it's education. You guys asked for it. You wanted the deep dive. You wanted Ethereum, of course, the backbone of crypto, and you wanted it here on the Crypto Power Hour show. You ask and you shall receive, almost like we're a genie or a djinn for the people of the Middle East. We bring it to you the way you want. George has dug in once again, hands off. We'll give him a round of applause. Fantastic education piece for George Ballantyne, the crypto educator. Professor Ballantyne, take it away.
All right. Well, there's what you say. Ethereum is the backbone of crypto deep dive. We're talking about this, right? All right. We're going to break down Ethereum. That's what we're going to do. The programmable blockchain that powering DeFi, NFTs, stable coins. Matter of fact, the entire Web3 revolution. This was they were launched in 2015 by Vitalik Buterin. Now, Ethereum is just not another coin, people. Just so you know. It's global. It's decentralized computer that runs unstoppable code called smart contracts. While Bitcoin, they say, is digital gold, Ethereum is the foundation layer for decentralized applications that are reshaping finance, ownership, and the internet itself. And I think Ethereum is the second largest price coin. Bitcoin's first, and Ethereum, I believe, Lance. That sound about right?
Yeah, that's about right. You know, it's interesting. He's a young kid. I think he's worth about $500 million.
Good for him. Look at him right there.
He was worth over $1 billion when Ethereum was more valuable, when Ethereum went up to like $4,000 or whatever. And it will get back up there. Did you see, George? I had a comment on this. There was an inactive whale wallet where somebody bought Ethereum at 31 cents. They bought $620 worth of Ethereum at 31 cents in 2017. And now it's worth 4.5 million. That's why we always say on this hold, you always just want to buy and hold, dollar cost average, and go for the long-term game. Don't be thinking about meme worth. So,
all right.
Go ahead, man. I didn't mean to step on you.
No.
By this young dude's network.
I mean, hopefully in the next 30 minutes, an hour, however long we're going to be here, you're going to understand exactly what Ethereum is, how it works under the hood. I'm talking massive real-world uses, key partnerships, and what the roadmap looks like heading into 2027 and beyond. I mean, look, we're still in the beginning of 2026. I should have said this year too, but I'm just waiting for that Clarity Act to pass. I don't know what's going on.
Speaking of the Clarity Act, what the frick is going on, man? How hard can it be? Would they get the banks out of the way so we can make some real-world asset, interest rates and like? Can we just get the banking cartel to stop screwing with us? People?
It's added.
What the heck, George?
Hold on, it's added a banking committee now voted. I think it just has to go a full floor vote. I don't know what they're waiting on.
I mean, are they on vacation again? Am I right about that? Are these assholes on vacation?
Are they? I don't know.
I think they're on the break. I don't know if they are. They aren't doing anything. They might as well be on break. They're on break constantly. They just talk, don't get anything done. Clarity Act should already passed, just like I think the Save Act should have passed. But for you guys in the audience, this is a crypto show. I'm going to stay crypto. Damn it. Administration, get that Clarity Act done. We're tired of waiting.
Actually, they're back in session.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Whoopee. They're going to get anything done,
Stop
George?
doing what you're doing right now, Lance. Stop messing with the wording.
I'm sorry.
He's messing around with my notes. I have little cliff notes here and there.
Whoa. That's too much information.
Yep. All right. What is Ethereum? Well, it's an open source, decentralized blockchain platform. It's designed to run smart contracts and decentralized applications. Its native token is Ether, ETH. It pays for network fees, aka gas, and incentives security. Key differences from, let's say, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is primarily a store of value and payment network. Ethereum is Turing complete. Meaning, I don't know, it can run any programmable logic like a worldwide smartphone that no single company controls. This network is maintained by thousands of nodes worldwide. Everyone sees the same transparent ledger, but no one entity can shut it down or censor transactions. Look at that. Its core innovation, it's smart contracts, man. It's self-executing agreements written in code. And once deployed, they run automatically when conditions are met. No lawyers. I mean, when you hear that, just no lawyers. That's got to bring joy to you. Because what do lawyers do? They complicate stuff.
Yeah, no kidding.
They want to.
Thankfully, no lawyers.
They want to prolong anything because the more that they prolong it and have to make a phone call or go to court or whatever, they get paid, right?
Exactly. 0.15, walked to the water cooler. 0.20, went to the restroom and called client. Yeah, that's what they do. But of course, I want to explain with Turing complete because I probably should have put that in there. But so you guys should know this is a computer science term. It's Turing, and it sounds confusing. But so basically, what it means if it can compute any possible algorithmic calculation, and that was named after the mathematician Alan Turing. So it basically means that the system in Ethereum is powerful enough to simulate a universal Turing machine, the theoretical foundation of all modern computers. So basically, it's a language that all the platforms will understand, and that's the key to it. Always super helpful. Yeah, what are you looking at there, George? I saw you looking at something. What's going on, bro?
No, I just got some news going on Just trying to see what's going on this morning. Anyway,
Oh, I got you.
so I said no lawyers. Another big one, no banks and no downtime. Now, this removes intermediaries, reduces costs, and creates unbreakable trust through code. Now, how Ethereum works, I'm going to put up another little picture here. From the merge to today, Ethereum originally used energy-intensive proof-of-work mining. Now, in September 2022, the merge switched it to proof-of-stake, POS. That's what this POS stands for. Now, validators...
When you describe Congress not voting on the Clarity Act.
Yeah. Now, validators stake 32 Ethereum or join pools to secure the network and earn rewards. This cut energy use by, check this out, 99.95% while maintaining security. This is the heart of the system is Ethereum virtual machine, a sandbox computer that executes smart contract code identically on every node, ensuring perfect consistency across the globe. Just think about that. Consistency, security,
big stuff
all over the world, and in space soon to be probably. I don't know, because Jeff Bezos, he's got tasked with helping build a base on the moon. So we'll have Ethereum up there too. We'll make sure of that.
Is he? Is that the news today? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I got it.
So he's
we'll be talking about that in the Big Mig Show at 11 a.m. today.
Whoa, that's a big story. Okay, great. I'm excited about it.
Yep. So recent upgrades like Dencun introduced blobs and proto dank sharding.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what, Lance? I'm going to be honest right now. What is dank sharding? I don't know what it is.
So let me get I want to make sure I get this right. Hang on.
Yeah, get it right. And I'll finish it.
Yeah.
Which is dramatically lowering layer 2 fees. This makes Ethereum usable for everyday transactions instead of just, I don't know, high volume settlements. I hear the word sharding and you know what that means. So,
yep. This isn't the sharding that happens if you eat a bad batch of Mexican food. Let me emphasize.
See, if I don't know some people, I will tell you. I'm not going to sit up here on this camera and mic, pretend like to shoot you, tell you something just to tell you something. No, I'll admit not everybody knows everything. And if I don't know something, or Lance, we're going to look it up right now, figure it out.
And this is crucial. So, I kind of knew what it was, but I wanted to verify. And I don't know that I would have described it as well as this. So dank sharding is Ethereum's ultimate scaling design, named after researcher Danklad Feist. Danklad Feist, yeah. I feel bad for him. You know, they called him Mr. Shard. Instead of splitting the network into separate chains, which is traditional sharding, it scales the blockchain by, of course, creating these abundant, cheap storage spaces for layer 2. And that's what we just talked about a minute ago, this new system where they actually cut down costs across the board. And that's the big deal, right? That's the stuff that matters. And of course, when you see something like that, that tells you why Ethereum has become such a major mover and shaker in the blockchain world. And you want it to be usable every day. And you saw that little infographic up there, and it kind of showed you how the users get in there. And you've got the smart contracts, right? Which is code that goes to storage in the new block. And that's the validators in the peer-to-peer. Those validators have to stake 32 Ethereum. They have to pay for 32 Ethereum to be a validator. And of course, that's how it has that redundancy over the decentralized network. And then you get all these blocks that confer, of course. It's a big deal. So hopefully that you guys, dank sharding, you got the answer. And I feel bad for that guy. And no, it's not sharding, but you'll remember it now because we said the sharding joke.
Dank sharding, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So what's our current status at the year in 2026? It's the highest TVL in DeFi. Largest developer community in crypto, and it's billions in daily volume, and has a very strong institutional adoption via the spot ETFs or ETHs. Now, the combination of security, you know, I like security. I'm very big on security. So this combination of security, decentralization, and ongoing upgrades keeps Ethereum dominant.
And TVL it stands for total value locked, in case anybody wanted to know, which means that you don't have to worry about liquidity. That's why Ethereum is so powerful, because they have this total value lockup of a major amount of Ethereum. So go ahead, George. Didn't mean to step on you there, buddy.
Oh, you do the next one if you want. All right, whatever.
Okay.
All right, I'll do this when you do after this. What's Ethereum used for? Real world applications. Ethereum powers the majority of crypto innovation. Decentralized finance, lending, and you see on the chart, we have a bunch of companies there, Aave, Compound. decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, their derivatives, yield farming, all without banks. Music to my
I love
ears.
that. No kidding.
Music
Get
to
out of the
my
way, banks.
ears. No more banks. Okay. Over 100 billion plus in total value locked at peaks. Now, users can earn interest, even though the Clarity Act, some of the bankers are trying to get rid of that, but we'll see what happens. They can trade 24/7 and access global markets permissionlessly. They don't need permission. You can just access it. NFTs and digital ownership. The provenance and scarcity for art, music, collectibles, tickets, and real estate deeds on OpenSea and beyond. You know, as far as like NFTs, like for the like art and music, kind of died out, right? It was like a fad.
I think it was overhyped. I got very nervous when like Sotheby's and Christie's and other people got involved in the NFT market. It was overhyped. In my opinion, it went through the roof too soon. I do believe it's here to stay. I think that digital art, as you see the amount of AI digital art, people are going to want to have their copyright and their ownership. So turning your digital art into an NFT that you can protect makes sense to me. But at the same time, I thought it was preemptively too much when it blew up. It was a big deal. So I do believe that we're going to see, digital ownership for things like music and collectibles and art. I think that'll go on because it's also going to authenticate it. So I think it's here to stay, but I just don't know. I mean, weren't you nervous, George, when all of a sudden, like some NFT that you couldn't own the art piece was sitting in your little computer world, right? And it's doing like $50-60 million. That seemed, it didn't make, because for me, what I've always understood about art, half the enjoyment is to have and to hold. Right?
Listen, when it comes to the NFT, the arts and stuff, the people that made the art and sold it are the ones that made out.
They sure did.
I mean, whatever. If you have a digital NFT, you can always digitally put it in some kind of frame and put it up. As long as you have Wi-Fi, it's up there.
But then it's a printed item where sometimes
no, it's not printed.
Media, the different composition of art. Because it's just most of that art was not 3D scaling. It wasn't.
Lance, you have it on a live like screen, like a monitor or something.
Yeah, I know, but it just doesn't do the same thing. For me, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I like to have it where I can hold it in my hand too. I get it. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, look, Ethereum, it's true ownership we're talking about. You control the keys, not a company. Now you have gaming and metaverse. You have play to earn titles in virtual worlds where players truly own assets and they can trade them across platforms.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. Tokenization of real world assets, RWAs. You have stocks, bonds, real estate, carbon credits, all moving on chain for 24/7 global trading. Wait till you see the oil come on too.
And the carbon credits are a big deal. I think, what else somebody was talking about the other day? The space above properties. That's always traded. And I think they're going to tokenize more of that.
They do that a lot in the cities.
Yeah, because you got the extra floors you qualify. You can sell that to another building. I'm hearing that is going to be tokenized very soon, which could increase the value of it for people that haven't taken advantage. Because you have a building that's approved for 15 floors and you only build 10 floors, you still have that vertical space, and that has a value, interestingly, especially in big cities. I don't know about New York's real estate anymore with the leadership.
Well, other buildings will buy it so you don't build and block the view or stuff like
Correct. That. Correctamundo, George Valentine. All right. Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but all right.
But it makes sense. If you have a great view, would you really want some building to block you?
Yeah. So I was just talking about stocks, bonds, real estate, carbon credits. Even like you'll have gold, like Solon Global is doing, where you could buy gold, on the chain and stuff. A lot of big things coming, innovations. But you have the DAOs and governance. You have communities vote on treasury and decisions using smart contracts, which is going to create transparency organizations. Stablecoins, USDT, USDC, DAI, the backbone of crypto trading, remittances, and hedging volatility. You can go next, Lance.
Well, in the DAO, just for everybody, that's decentralized autonomous organizations. So those are like a community-led entity.
We've done shows on all these little acronyms and stuff. So I suggest you go back and get the definitions and stuff.
It is important because, sometimes we pop out an acronym and George and I may know what it is. We didn't know what dank sharding was, but although I think I could have described it okay, but I don't think I would have got it perfect. You don't see that term a lot, but look, when you start talking about this ecosystem and you talk about all the partnerships they've got and all the scaling solutions, That really tells you the massive nature of the Ethereum network, right? But this is here to stay. It's clearly one of the most powerful ones out there. One of the biggest. They've got the most, one of the largest amounts of liquidity. They've got the largest amount of people in the community because a lot of people hold Ethereum. And it's really Ethereum's major strength, in my opinion, is in its ecosystem, right? You got this layer 2 roll-ups. You've got like Arbitrum, maybe Optimism, Base, ZK Sync, if you guys know that one. So that process, they're sending thousands of transactions per second while they're posting all this security to the Ethereum main net. And this is where most users kind of interact today for cheap, fast activity because you love low fees. Nobody likes those high banking fees. Nobody loves high fees over on Western Union. So you've got that. And then you've got this massive enterprise adoption. Ethereum has a thing called the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. And there's big names involved. You've got JP Morgan in there. I think you've got Microsoft. And there's many more. And, many of them are private and permission chains that still connect to the public network. So there could be a backend for, say, JP Morgan. They've got a private chain that connects to the public chain. And the partnerships, it's much like Ripple. When I talk about Ripple, Ripple has so many partnerships that nobody's even really caught wind of because they had that case and a lot of stuff was never announced because it was under NDA. And I don't know how they're going to get it all announced because as much as they have like 3,000 some odd contracts. So in the case of Ethereum, you've got Chainlink, of course, which is bringing real world data on chain. You've got the Graph, that's the name of the partner, which is indexing all that blockchain data. You've got Uniswap and Avi, BlackRock and Fidelity. I'm not a big fan of BlackRock, but they're in there, and Fidelity's the same way. And those are all the Ethereum ETFs that have been coming online. More and more of them coming on every day, which is bringing that big institutional push, that big institutional money. And then, of course, you've got the AI plus blockchain integration for autonomous agents. So even those agents are all, involved in the blockchain. There's so many people creating learning language model, super agents with sub agents. And then you've got agent swarms. All that is coming into the blockchain world, which is increasing speed. A lot of these people are working on true technical improvements to the system. And that's a great thing about the Ethereum group and all the companies that are working with them. They're trying to innovate. So that's what I would tell you next. The dominance of the developers in Ethereum. More developers are building on the Ethereum chain than any other chain in the network. You guys, we did a show not too long ago about why are there so many blockchains? Well, I don't know if there'll ever be one blockchain that rules them all, but I can tell you that Ethereum and even what Ripple's doing and Solana, those are the kings of the blockchain. In my opinion, those are the most powerful network providers. And that network affects that. And because of the size of the network and the volume of money pushing through there's a lot of opportunity. So, of course, it's attracting a massive amount of developer and quant talent, a massive amount of capital, and a massive amount of innovation. And what that means for you is it's not like Ethereum's going to close down tomorrow. When you got the ecosystem doing smart contracts, dApps, NFTs, DeFi, real world assets, it's a very, very strong ecosystem. And, of course, Ethereum has become kind of the default choice for serious projects that need a maximum amount of security and composability. Now, I don't know what the future holds for Ethereum and quantum computing. That could be different, but we'll have to, kind of keep an eye on that. As we've always talked about, quantum computing is definitely going to impact a lot of security.
Did you say quantum
computing? I'm sure Ethereum is ahead of the game.
That's where you piqued my interest saying talk about quantum computing.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead. You go.
You love the quantum computing.
Right.
George is one of the ones that was concerned very early on.
What's the future hold for Ethereum, Lance? What are we talking about?
I mean, look, the roadmap, in my opinion, this is 26 to 28. It's hard to predict beyond that because things are moving so fast. And I'm not a genius. I just look for the information. George looks for the information.
Don't sell yourself short, Lance.
A couple of regular guys from back east just grinding it out right along with you, the listeners and viewers. If you love the show, this is right the moment you go, George, Lance, thank you. And you hit that follow button. So here's the roadmap, I think, okay? The focus of Ethereum, the institution, right? The people behind that powerhouse. They're looking at scalability. They want to be extremely scalable and fast, and they want to integrate very quickly. That's where the dank sharding comes in. They want high levels of security, and they want it to be in a sustainable ecosystem. And of course, their policy has always been, and will never be any different, that they don't want to sacrifice decentralization. And that's why you get Ethereum pushing back on a lot of the stuff in the Clarity Act and banking. They don't really want any of that stuff involved. So the upcoming upgrades, they've got Glamsterdam, Pagoda, and beyond. Those are the big ones. We won't go into those now, but those are things, Glamsterdam and Pagoda. You could go look them up. And you're going to see their plan is, and think about this, a business that's growing, you wouldn't think this would be part of the plan. They want to provide much lower fees and higher throughput, right? Which, of course, is via that full dank sharding concept. They want single slot finality, which, of course, means that transactions are confirming in seconds instead of minutes, and even microseconds. Vitali had an interview he did, and he said, he goes, I'd love to see transactions complete in microseconds, which is, that's a really big move. But with quantum, absolutely possible. And with powerful backends, that's why you see all these data centers going up. They're going to be part of that. So you're looking for better MEV resistance. And of course, they want proposer build separation. They want native account abstraction, which of course would get you smoother user experiences. They don't want any more seed phrases for average users. They'd like to see a more complex system of security because the seed phrases have been a struggle for everybody, us included. You got to keep your seed phrase. You got to hide it. You got a cold storage wallet. There's many people out there trying to get a hold of your seed phrase because they'll wipe you out. And then the big focus, and this is all about green technology, and they want to see continued energy efficiency and, of course, potential privacy enhancements like that ZK proofs that we talked about earlier. So the analysts, I think that their expectation, at least what I believe, is that Ethereum is going to capture a massive value from all the tokenized real-world assets, just like Ripple is going to capture a massive amount, and potentially Solana, and all in their own, their own lane. But this is a multi-trillion-dollar market we're talking about. So if you think about it, it really, when you start thinking about the trillions that are involved, these blockchains that are out there, there's no doubt they're going to get bigger. But look, you got AI agents that are going to be executing on-chain, like we mentioned a second ago. You've got decentralized social media. You can already see that some of that is starting to come through with validation, with AI being involved. You see it on X. Elon Musk clearly has sent a message that he wants that included in what he's doing over on X. And I'm sure the other platforms are looking at that because X is the leader in that market. But I'm sure Mark Zuckerberg's got his own strategy for Facebook and Instagram. So, and of course, you're going to see global payment infrastructure, and that's a big deal. Sometimes I wonder if there won't be more integration between Ripple, XRP and Ethereum. I don't know what'll happen there. But, this is big stuff. And of course, the long-term Ethereum is going to aim to become the settlement layer for all the decentralized internet. They want to remain neutral. They want to remain decentralized, and they want to stay censorship resistant. And I think also big banking resistant, which I think is great for us. All right, you guys responded. You came into our chat and you said,
don't take my joy. This is my little thing, bro. Don't do it.
Well, I just wanted to set up that George came up with this, and you guys love this FAQ thing. You said, look,
Q&A, baby, Q&A.
Yeah, and you guys said we really want to see more of that. So we're going to try to do it on every education piece. We won't always do an education piece, but we like to flip it up. We do news, we do interviews. And by the way, if you'd like to interview on the Crypto Power Hour, just hit up us over at info@thebigmig.com. We're always looking for great project and great leadership in the blockchain, decentralized finance, and crypto world. All right, George, take it away, brother. Well, why don't I fire up the first question and you take the answer? How's that? Is that
all right, sure, go ahead. I'll let you get
all
that
right,
off.
George, how is Ethereum different from Solana or other layer one competitors?
Great question. Well, let's see. Ethereum, look, it was built with maximum security, one of my favorite things. I'm all about security. And decentralization as a top priority, people. It has the longest battle-tested security track record in smart contracts. And I think it has the largest, most distributed validator set. So competitors, I don't know, like Solana, often prioritize raw speed and lower fees at the expense of some decentralization, fewer validators, occasional outages. But Ethereum solves its speed issues through a mature layer 2 ecosystem that inherits Ethereum security. This is what we call security and scaling approach, which makes Ethereum the preferred settlement layer for high value applications. How's that? All right, Lance, I got this one for you. Are gas fees still high, and how do people actually use Ethereum affordably?
That is a fantastic question,
Thanks,
Mr. Valentine. Okay, so You got the Ethereum mainnet, which of course is the layer one. And sometimes the fees do spike. Because of course the fees are cheaper when there isn't high demand. So sometimes they reach $5 to $50 for very complex transactions. Of course, you're talking about financial institutions. But however, the vast majority of users today operate on the layer two rollup, right? They're operating like the base layer, Arbitrum, or Optimism, right? Those are the names of the companies. So those average fees are often under 10 cents to $1. So when you're operating in layer two, the majority of transactions a regular person would use, it's going to be very cheap. Institutional transactions that could include multiple participants, those are where the fees are higher. But even $1 to $50 for a multi-million-dollar transaction would be insanely low. So you're going to, so basically, to simplify this, you're going to bridge Ethereum or stable coins to a layer two once, then enjoy that near instant cheap transaction, which of course you've got a high level of security and you're anchored to Ethereum because of that. And of course, tools like wallets are going to automatically suggest the cheapest route. They're going to tell you if you do this, this, and this is going to be cheaper. And that's where the Dencun, and we mentioned that earlier, that's DENCUN upgrade. So this made it even better. So this introduced those data blobs that we talked about. Of course, those drastically cut those L2 costs. So that Dencun layer blob you heard earlier, and you're like, what the hell is a layer blob? It's basically all about just lowering the cost and increasing the speed. So I think in 26, you can count on that Ethereum is going to be kind of like a fast fintech app. I think that's where it's really heading, where it's going to be more user-friendly, faster, more secure, and cheaper.
Okay. Let me see. He's right. Is
so
staking...
man in the front row, red shirt.
Yes.
Is staking Ethereum worth it in 2026 if the banks don't put their dirty hand in there, George?
Well, if the politicians don't let the banks get away with it.
Yeah. Both
I mean, look, staking remains one of the most accessible ways to earn yield on your Ethereum while actually securing the network.
Mm-hmm.
With the current APY typically ranging from 3 to 5%, and this is depending on total staked Ethereum and network activity, it provides a solid, relatively low risk return compared to many DeFi strategies. You can stake, you can stake solo with 32 Ethereum or use liquid staking derivatives like STETH or platforms like Lido or Coinbase for smaller amounts.
Yeah, that means you don't have to have the 32 Ethereum because at these prices, that's kind of a big number.
Right.
But you can do partial staking for lower amounts.
Now, your rewards come from transaction fees and issuance. Risks are minimal, but it all depends on this Clarity Act, people. So while I hold staking as close to my heart and part of crypto, the banks are trying to get rid of it. All right, Lance. I always talk about security and everything, risk, this and that, but what are the biggest risks of Ethereum and the ecosystem?
There's a couple of them. George mentioned a minute ago, if you have a bad validator, that can be a problem, but it's very rare, bad validator. That doesn't happen very often. You've got maybe bugs in contracts where the contract has some errors in it. You've got exploits, which of course are those nefarious people that are trying to hack. And, but I want to say this, all the audits that Ethereum does on the network, all the validations, all the formal verification, that's all improved dramatically. It's not the old Ethereum. This is the new one. And of course, you got regulatory uncertainty, like we were talking about the Clarity Act. We don't know what's going to happen with staking and DeFi in certain jurisdictions. We don't know what the influence of the banks are going to be. And then, of course, you're going to have competition from faster or cheaper chains. But again, do you trade faster and cheaper for as good a security and as well established they are? I don't know. We always talk about that. There's a lot of blockchains out there and you got to do your homework. And of course, there's also those with, smart contracts are really complex instruments, right? They're complex mathematical equations. So not every project is secure, but Ethereum's core protocol has never, and I want to say this, listen closely to the audience. Ethereum's core protocol has never been hacked because its upgrade process is very deliberate. It's community driven. And there's this massive, really smart developer quant community that's involved in Ethereum. They are extremely judicious. They whenever they find any errors, they quickly patch it. They don't leave any back doors. And I think that's important. And then you got to think about mitigation strategies. they're using, audited protocols. They're diversifying across multiple chains. And then in your case, you just never want to invest in more than one that you can afford to lose. So I've always said, start out slow when it comes to any of these investments, and nothing on this show is financial advice. This is an educational platform. I'm not telling you to buy Ethereum or XRP or Bitcoin or Solana. I'm telling you, educate yourself and then talk to your own financial experts. But overall, I think Ethereum's risks are well understood. I think they're minimal. And I think they're going to continue to decrease as Ethereum upgrades and improves and continues to mature, because, man, they've got some quants and programmers over there that are just unbelievable working on the Ethereum, chain. All right, George. Again, this question is not financial advice.
I was going to say that, so I need a question.
Should people in the audience buy and hold Ethereum long-term, George? What do you think about the long-term prospects?
I mean, that's a decision up to you. Some people like to buy crypto, make quick buck, get out. Some people like to hold on to, like they do stocks, and for long-term investment and keep their portfolio for retirements. I mean, look, it has a strong fundamental tailwinds. It underpins the majority of on-chain economic activity, benefits from burning mechanisms that can make it deflationary during high usage. And if I have enough money, I'm a buy and hold type of guy. I think Lance is the same way. We do have some cryptos that we bought and just hold on to. As the price has swung up and down, we know it's going to go back up. And pretty much the Clarity Act sold everything. So this is something, if you have a financial advisor or a financial planner, talk to them about it. But, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, this is just the three I wanted to say, are all strong cryptos that, in my opinion, are good to hold on to for long-term investment. Look, Ethereum isn't just a coin. It's betting. You're going to bet on the programmable trust and the future of the open internet. So whether you could be a developer, investor, or user, understanding Ethereum positions you at the forefront of the next financial and technological revolution. So, once again, we don't give financial advice. We'll just give our opinions. I think you guys are all mature enough to make your own decisions. We're just going to provide you with the information, the education. What you do with it is up to you. Take us away, Mr. Migliaccio.
At the end of the day, it's to me, it isn't just holding a coin. I think it's betting on programmable trust and the future of the open internet, the future of finance. And I think if you're a developer, an investor, a user, I think understanding Ethereum and the positions that you at the forefront of the next financial and technological.
Lance, I said that. I was saying that.
I didn't think you did.
He wasn't paying attention, see?
I'm sorry.
That's why I said take us out, bro.
Yeah, the bottom line is Crypto Power Hour is out of time for today. So here's what I'm going to tell you. Hit that follow button. Throw us a Rumble Rant tip, $5, $10, $20 on your way out the door. Subscribe to us. It's only $5 a month. We're doing everything we can to bring you a quality program. That's what we do here on the Crypto Power Hour with George Valentine and Lance Migliaccio. And then here's the last drill. Go follow the Crypto Power Hour. Go follow Solum Global. Great company making big moves. There's a lot of big news coming out of Solum right now, so pay attention. Might be an opportunity in the future. And then, of course, the Big Mig Show. Follow that. G. Valentine on X, Lance Migliaccio. We're on many other platforms. And you'll find this show on YouTube, Rumble, Locals. Do us a favor. Go out there and follow it, and you'll find us on every major podcast platform. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the time. And don't forget, see us at 11 a.m. for the regular Big Mig Show. We'll be covering top news, great stories, great interviews. We've got a lot of big interviews coming up, that's for sure. Stay tuned. Rumble's the home base. George B., the last words as we roll out of the gate, buddy.
Well, it's Wednesday. It's the middle of the week. Enjoy it. Have a blessed day. Hopefully we'll see you at 11 a.m. If not, we'll see you Friday. Peace out. Love you guys.
Are you ready to stand up for your community and support your local sheriff? Join the Constitutional Sheriffs and Peace Officers Association and become a vital member of the Sheriff's Citizens Posse. At CSPOA.org, we empower citizens like you through weekly webinars, arming you with the knowledge to back your constitutional county sheriff. Together, we can uphold our Constitution and ensure liberty and justice for all. Your community needs you now more than ever. Visit CSPOA.org and join the Sheriff's Citizens Posse today. Make a difference. Stand for freedom. That's CSPOA.org. Your country, your fight, your future.
What if you could predict your financial future? And what if you could trade on it? Introducing Block Trust IRA, the future in your hands. An astonishing 88,000 millionaires were created last year from the Bitcoin boom, and you could be next. Block Trust IRA is the only crypto management firm powered by AI-driven strategies, ranked #1 in the world by Bitcoin Magazine. The Block Trust IRA platform is built for everyone, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Predictive AI technology that was once only reserved for insiders and elites is now available to you. It's time to leave the old buy and hold strategies behind. Your assets are protected with military-grade security, offline cold storage, and $200 million in insurance. Visit BlockTrustIRA.com to book your free consultation and ask how to claim up to $2,500 in deposit bonuses today. Bitcoin changed the game. AI changes the strategy.
Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation.
Forged through rigorous training and honed by the finest instructors on Earth, these canine units serve beside our nation's warriors as they fight to preserve what we cherish. When these warriors complete their duty, the Warrior Dog Foundation provides them with a home deserving of the service they've given us all. At our state-of-the-art kennels, they receive rehabilitation and care suitable for heroes, because that's what they are. Be a part of giving them a future today. Visit WarriorDogFoundation.org.